Hi, this is Austin Allenbaugh. This is going to be my procurement report presentation. This presentation is going to be going over the Jeep Wrangler. Understanding the complexity of what it takes to make the Jeep Wrangler is an important first step to identifying what can be improved to better our production, our supply chain, and our process of working through demand spikes such as this one. This is just a few points on our supply chain specifics. To gain a better understanding of what goes into making this Jeep Wrangler. Raw materials are sourced from mines and refineries, often from countries such as China and Brazil. These materials get fed into component manufacturers, mostly concentrated in North America, Europe, and Asia. Engines and transmissions are made right here in the US. Steel and aluminum for body panels are sourced globally in proximity to manufacturers to reduce the cost of transportation. Tires are purchased from major brands such as Goodyear and Michelin through regional contracts, then all tied together in assembly plants located not too far from here in Toledo, Ohio. While a surge in demand looks positive for the company, it can bring several risks for the manufacturers and the overall Jeep brand. Production capacity might be strained, leading to longer wait times, causing customer dissatisfaction. The average wait time for a new Jeep Wrangler currently sits within a month or a little more than a month, which is already a really long time for your new car. If the wait for their new vehicles becomes longer, then that could reflect negatively on the brand. This spike in demand could also put heavy pressure on suppliers to keep up with the demand, causing low quality parts and more defective parts. A rapid increase in demand could also stretch the company's service network thin, resulting in longer wait times for repairs and manufacturing, again, hurting our brand and our customer satisfaction. There are two options that are set before us to help us work through this demand spike. Option A is to increase the price of the Wrangler, but do not increase the production. Option B is do not increase the price of the Wrangler, but instead increase the production of it. In an ideal world, we would want to just increase production and not change the price to keep our current Jeep owners that either want to upgrade or new Jeep owners happy with receiving the same price that has been advertised and that they've been looking at. However, when you look into the specifics of our supply chain, the option that just does not seem feasible. In my opinion, the best option to go with would be option A, to increase the price and not the production. Increasing the price allows the company to earn higher profits on each sale, but also mitigate the impact of the demand spike. While the advertisements will still bring a surge of new buyers, increasing the price will allow the company to make a bigger profit margin while lowering the instant demand. In the short term, this will allow Jeep to make more money, keep the same product plan in place, while not interfering with this complex supply chain they have built and that is running just fine. That option B that we mentioned earlier, increase in production but not the price, would put more strain and pressure on an already load-bearing supply chain. Another concern that was brought up was customers potentially losing interest in the product and buying something else, which to a certain degree is what we want. The increase in price will drop the interest to some, but will remain for the same for the others, making the spike not as intensive, but allowing the company to make profits. As for the new pop culture concern, Jeep, specifically the Wrangler, is a lasting and known product, mostly made in the US. And the community that is built around owning a Jeep Wrangler, the new fad argument is just not one that I believe that we have to worry about. Being that production will stay relatively the same or to a small degree an increase, I believe that there will be no issues meeting the production need. However, if one of my core suppliers does fail to meet the delivery requirements, the first step I would take would be to contact our other suppliers and see if they can pick up the slack. If they cannot, the next step would be to find a new local supplier and start a negotiation for a short-term contract with them to provide the materials or parts that we need. Production warehouses and plants are placed all over the world. Major plants in the US are located in Ohio, Michigan, and Illinois. Major plants located internationally are located in countries such as Italy, Brazil, China, and Mexico, each plant specializing in a specific vehicle, the Wrangler being made primarily in Toledo, Ohio. So, what if this demand spike for the Wranglers was located in Europe? A couple things would have to change to make this demand spike feasible. The first step would be to integrate the Wranglers' production into another facility to produce them. Take a facility in Italy, for example. Their primary production is built around currently the Jeep Renegade. To most effectively meet the demand spike for the Wranglers, this plant would need to shift its focus from primarily the Renegade to primarily Wranglers. Doing so would aid in the distribution of the Wranglers needed in Europe without putting excessive pressure on the plant in Ohio and the overall supply chain. When talking about a supply chain as complex as Jeep's, modes of transportation have a far range of categories. Things such as semi-trucks, ships, trains, and planes are used to shuttle parts and finished products to where they need to be. Whether it be parts being shipped internationally to different manufacturers or finished cars getting trucked, trained to the dealerships, all methods are used to ensure a stable and consistent flow. To maintain an effective oversight of the manufacturing within this demand spike, it is important to keep track of data such as supplier lead times, supplier capacity, cost fluctuation, and supplier quality metrics. By analyzing and keeping track of these data points, Jeep can proactively identify potential risks, optimize sourcing strategies, maintain an effective supply chain, and ensure customer satisfaction stays high. There are many different methods that will help us achieve success during this demand spike, using things such as a Kanban board to visualize workflow and to identify vulnerable areas that need to be monitored, or ensuring lean manufacturing is being utilized to cut down on waste and to better control production costs. To ensure this production plan meets ISO 9000 quality control standards, I will integrate its principles into all stages of production, in creating a quality management system such as SPC, or Statistical Process Control. To ensure this production plan meets Six Sigma quality control standards, I will be applying DMAIC, Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control. Implementing this method will ensure all standards that were put into place to make this plan successful are being followed. Finally, with all methods mentioned being followed and overseen by quality control management, I believe that the spike in demand will benefit the company in all aspects while ensuring our supply chain functions as it should with little to no change.